Milifortic has just released two brand new models in their range of watches, and both of them, well, I would not have expected them to make a watch that looks like this, or a watch that would look like this either. Hello, you're watching James. My name is James, you're watching me, and I am talking about watches. And I'm quite excited to be able to feature today two watches from Milifortic. Both of them new releases, both available now on their website or also on their AliExpress store. And both were provided to me, so I get to enjoy them now and share them with you. But of course, because of that, you would have seen that sponsored icon a little bit earlier, and I'm going to leave links down to these watches in the description of the video. But I'm actually quite surprised that this brand bought out both of these watches. Firstly, because this is an obvious Submariner homage, and although the watches that have been released previously by Milifortic have been homage based, this is a bit of departure. They seem to have been developing a little bit of a sort of style, and I wasn't expecting it. I'm glad that they have, because I know a lot of people like this style of watch, and as you'll know very shortly after I talk more about it, this is a great option at the price. But the other one is a super colourful quartz watch that comes in a number of different colour variations, and it has a very interesting dial, and I don't know if this one is a homage. Because all their other watches that they release are very much inspired or homaging others, I'm going to assume that it probably is. Leave me a comment below if you know what this one is looking like. If it's not, it'd be great to know that they are now pushing it into something a little bit more individual. Not that I specifically want Milifortic to do this, because Milifortic is a sub-brand of the brand Boltony, another watch company that I absolutely love because of the quality of the watches, the prices of the watches. So it's been nice that Boltony has kind of done this, and I'm kind of assuming that they're sort of going, well, Milifortic is more the military style sort of homages, leaving Boltony alone to sort of do their own thing and lean more into those vintage designs that they do. But let's start with one that, well, it doesn't surprise me that it is good. It does surprise me, however, though, that now this Submariner homage, the D100 from Milifortic, is now my favourite affordable homage. I've said a couple of times about a couple of watches that I think they are the most best spec'd, best feeling homages of this watch. But now this is officially the one, because this one, it's $199 US. I went with the basic black. That's the one that tends to speak to me. But there is a blue version as well, a green version as well, and a green with a black bezel insert version as well. And all of them do come powered by the Seiko NH35. They have 200 meters of water resistance. They have a sapphire bezel insert. They have sapphire crystals, AR coating, and an enamel dial. Yes, actually an enamel dial at this price. I think when you look at watches that are being sold on AliExpress, often I see them say that they have an enamel dial, and I tend to not hold a lot of stock in that description. But because it's Milifortic, because it's Boltony, I do believe that this is a enamel dial, and when you look at it, you can sort of see that nice depth of sort of color and that sort of reflection. It does certainly look enamel, but they are all, of course, the same size as well. This one, the case is 40 millimeters. The bezel does overhang a little bit, however, though, effectively making it 41 millimeters. It is 12.4 millimeters tall, not including that Cyclops. It has a lug to lug of 48 millimeters. The bracelet there, it is 20 millimeters, but it does taper down a lot down to 16, which is nice, and it weighs in at 140 grams. And of course, this size, these dimensions, well, they do sit nicely and feel good on my 17 centimeter wrist. This, of course, is not exactly an original design. It is not originally sized. So instead of rather digging into all the details of this one and the design, instead I might just point out a few things about this one which has made me think that this is my favorite affordable version of this homage. And it definitely starts with that black enamel dial, this inky black, this shiny polished black. It's lovely. It really is lovely. If you're going to have a black dial, especially this style of watch, this is a good option, and they've done it very well. Everything that's on the dial is nice, but the thing that then really stood out to me is actually the bezel action. This is by far the best bezel action on a watch at this price that I've ever experienced before. And I want you to hear it, because listen, isn't that a lovely sound? Really nice sort of soft clicking, very specific, zero backplay whatsoever, and certainly not light enough that you would knock it, but not hard enough that you have to force it. It is by far the best bezel action on any dive watch that I've experienced in this price range. In fact, when I really think about it, I think you'd have to spend double, or at least in my experience from watches that I've experienced, I'd have to spend at least double to get even close to as good. So that is a really standout feature. In fact, it's probably the best feature of this watch. I've been playing with the bezel action of this one a lot, and that is really nice. They've really put some effort into making the details of the watch correct on this one, and also pleasant, like the bezel action, like the dial, and also the bracelet. The bracelet on this one, it feels fantastic. Solid end links, solid links of course, screw links as well, everything that you would want from an affordable watch, but it is very well finished. It is well rounded, it is very soft, and it leads down to a standard clasp, a clasp that I think I've seen on another watch that Bolton has put out before, and I'm really glad that they chose this clasp over a homage gliding style lock clasp. And that is because, well, I've experienced a lot of homaged clasps, a lot of those Rolex style clasps, and I know on the Rolex they're fantastic, but at those sort of prices you would hope they would be. But the homage versions, they can be okay, but to be honest, I don't love them. I think I would rather, if I was going to have an affordable version or a homage of this watch, I'd much rather what they have chosen to do on this one. It is simple, it is milled, it has micro adjust, and it's comfortable. So I'm glad that they chose that. Oh, hello there. Just thought I'd interrupt just for a moment, just to ask you a big favour. This favour is super easy, costs you absolutely nothing, but makes a big difference to me, and that is, could you please subscribe if you have not done so already? Thank you very much. Now let's get back to this video. What I'm really surprised, however, is what they chose to do with this quartz watch, because it is very different to what I've seen them do before, especially with the colors and the dial texture. The dial texture of this one really is a standout feature to me. This little pattern, which really then captures the light when it's out in the sun. And they've called this one the R087. It's a super affordable quartz watch, only being $99 US. They've brought it out in 4 different colors. The one I'm showing you is the pearl version, but there's also a watermelon style color, a yellow, and a tangerine. They all have the VH31 movement inside of it, sapphire crystal, 100 meters of water resistance. And of course, as is with all the watches that I've had from this particular company, it is a great size as well. It's 38 millimeters. It has a height of 10.4 millimeters, a lug to lug of 45.9 millimeters, a lug width of what you'd probably expect, 20 millimeters. And of course, it only weighs 54 grams. 54 grams because of its a quartz movement and because of the size, but it then creates a very nice light feeling on wrist. It's a very comfortable fit on wrist. And just like every other watch I've experienced from this brand, the strap is fantastic. It is soft and it suits the watch. And that's probably one of the other reasons why this one conforms down to my wrist so nicely from day one. There's no wearing in required for this particular strap. But really, I think if you're going to be purchasing this one, you're going to be doing it partly because it's a nice size watch and a nice looking watch, and it is a nice affordable watch, but it's likely the colors and the dial that is going to grab you, because that inner part of the dial, the main section of the dial, has that interesting cross hatch type pattern. This one here, this color version, this pearl sort of version, I find really sort of captures the light nicely, but I think all the other versions do too. Polished hands captures the light nicely too. Lume on there as well, and a nice pop of color. This one I do quite like orange on watches, which is why I ended up choosing the orange, but it's nice that that outer ring of orange then matches in and works in well with that long second hand. Well, the case, completely as I would have expected from this brand, because I've now experienced quite a few of them, is really solid. Good brushing, nice polishing, some nice choices made, done relatively simply, but done well. And the same as you can then see when you turn the watch over, a very simple case back. They've created an affordable watch that's made well, that's solid, that is obviously going to run nicely with that movement, and it has a pop of color. But then they've also created a really nice automatic, affordable subby homage, which I can now definitely say is my preference if you're going to buy a more affordable watch. Previously, I think I talked about a Chronos being my favorite. Same movement, obviously same style. It is a little bit cheaper than this one, but I'm going to say spend a little bit of extra money and get the Milifortic. Thanks for watching. Here's a couple of other videos you might want to watch next.